see right through that tree. Now to get to the tunnel, we got to go down that way. Steep hike, about maybe 2 miles, and then another mile to go through the tunnel. Bro, just let me take a picture. That's your mating call? What? What did I do to you? I know you're curious, aren't you? Okay guys, here I am at the Claudis Crozet Blue Ridge Mountain Tunnel. That's a mouthful, try to say that twice. But look at this, it's a beauty. Look at the arch. That was part of the engineering of how it was done. So one thing was the workers, they would start from the top part, work their way down, and the other men would actually work in as they got further on top. So quite literally, the top end was built first, then the bottom half was also dug out, blasted out as well. And with the blasting marks, you're gonna see them anywhere, practically. So anything that looks like a sharp thing, whatever, they would have like a drill. Someone would turn the drill down into it as far as they can go, fill it with black powder, put a wick in, and then light it. And then, you know, parts of the this green rock would actually come apart. And it took 8 years to build this, due to the fact that this is before dynamite. Black powder was the only way that you could actually split rocks. Not only just that, but it was also out of green rock. Green rock is, I don't know if that's because of why it's called green rock, but it's one of the hardest rocks to remove. And you can see them everywhere here. There's some here. I mean, you're gonna see it anywhere. There is a fine one right here. And they would just literally, like the boy, you know, because their sons would actually work with them as well. And they would put it down, they would drill, you know, the hole into it, like I said, fill it black powder, bam, it's supposed to rock. But it took 8 years. Construction on this started in 1850, after giving the green light to go. Now, Claudis Crozet, he was the chief engineer. So what he did was, he took 2 groups of engineers, and he had placed them on one end of the tunnel, or one end of the mountain, which is this end, and one on the opposite end, and they dug to meet in the middle. And they missed by maybe 1 inch to 6 inches is what has been said. That was quite a engineering marvel at his time. All right guys, so let's walk in this tunnel and I'll tell you more about the facts that I've actually, that I do know about this place. Being that construction has started in 1850, it took 8 years for them to actually construct it enough. So here's another thing I want to talk about. But there's a lot of, back in 2020, they had reconstructed some of this. You can tell from the old bricks to the newer ones. So they refurbished it. And they had put in the bricks after, like I said, from half. So they would work on the top half, dug in there, blasted through there. Then the bottom half, they would blast in through that too, and then take out the materials out on both wings. So that little dot that you see is actually the other end, I think the east end of this tunnel. And they had a crew working on that end to come up this way, where they're gonna meet halfway for this crew on the west end to go down to the east. And they met. And when they met, it was within inches, like 1 inch to 6 inches from on target, which was something that wasn't really done back then. Oh, wow, this is crazy. And of course, my light isn't strong enough for just this. So Claudis Crozet was a French immigrant. He served under Napoleon during the time of invasion of Russia. Of course, most of the immigrants, or actually not all the immigrants that worked on this tunnel were Irish. The Irish immigrants, the Irish, you were going through a famine at the time. So it's either, in their minds, either die of starvation back at home or come here and at least work and try to survive and make a living. So they were just stuck. This is insane. This tunnel from the 1850s. Crazy stuff. And this was all once train tracks. And you're going to hear water because that's just part of it. Like, we're in a mountain. And of course, that's another thing too. That was also another thing about this, is that it was almost a mile long of a tunnel, going through these really, really hard red rocks. And you're sweating in these tunnels, and you're breaking your back, and you're dying of, gunpowder. And that was another thing. Gunpowder was actually used. There was no dynamite back then. Dynamite wasn't even invented yet. And all these other explosives, you only had black dynamite, black powder to actually set these off. So they made so much, they would actually make so much feet per month. That's how slow they were going through this, because they had problems. People went on strike a few times because laborers weren't paid that much. And they went on strike to get paid more. You had all these problems arising. And there was also slaves as well. Slaves would work on this, but not on the tunnel. They would work on the outside of the tunnel. The contractors, they would contract them out from the owners themselves. So the slaves never really touched the tunnels. But the thing was, the Irish immigrants were so cheap and so inexpensive, so replaceable, that if something were to happen to a handful of them, easily replaced by more. So that's another thing about this history of this tunnel. Of course, I'm walking through all this here. And look, they even had the engineer to make sure that the middle part rised while the gutter parts didn't, so that way water can go slide down both ends. This is all, I still can't believe this. This is crazy. And this tunnel, 4,273 feet, almost a mile. And you can start to hear an echo because we're in the middle of it now. I'm sorry guys if you can't see too horribly much. This would have been the last tunnel, major tunnel that is, to have been, that they had used black powder to engineer, to actually dig through it. So this was the last of that. So that's another marvel to this. You can't see anything in this tunnel, like nothing. This is so crazy. And my voice is echoing too. Oh! Here, like it goes in the background. So it's like the bunkers that I went to, and going in, the dome-like structure, the igloo-like thing, had made your voice bounce. That's what this one's doing. So it's like, I wouldn't even be surprised if someone else could hear me at the end of the tunnel so easily. Just like the turnpike tunnels. You can hear people whisper on one end. It comes out the other end. It was crazy to hear. Of course, I haven't showed off the road yet. The original part of the tunnel. You can't necessarily see it, but it curves. And of course, unlike the turnpike tunnel, there's no graffiti on either side, which is good. It's untouched, unscathed. Well, I kind of almost dodged that one, but there's one there, but it's not so apparent, Looks like they take care of this. I'm hearing water slap somewhere. Okay, here we go. This is something I want to talk about when we get there. See that we've been going through all this brick? Well, this looks like it's just part of the rehabilitation. But look, if you look at that stuff, look, again, it's the silver stuff that you've seen at the bunkers and also at the Fountain of Youth. That's so crazy. Again, it's like silver, it's just coming down off the brick too. Can't really see that end of it, but you can see all that. It's got something to do with moisture. It has to. Ooh, I'm getting rained on up there. Oh look, battle scars. Here we go. So here's a part of it that's concrete and not block. That's probably why my voice is so, ooh, look at that. It's probably why my voice is so echoey right now. Oh, no way. Guys, this is so something. We had the brick over here, back there. We got the concrete now. And look, it's like pure rock. That's why the echo. You can hear the echo more now. And you go, look. You're going to see more of those drill holes. Again, they would drill it in, black powder, ignite it from a wick or whatever, and then set it off, and it's supposed to split. It's everywhere. It took a long time to do this tunnel. Oh, this is amazing. It's like we're actually in a cavern for real. I know I said that about the last one I was in South Carolina. I know I said the same thing about the Stomp House Tunnel in South Carolina that we went to. That was, oh no, it was only half of this left, and it didn't even go out the other end. They just totally scrapped the plans and abandoned it. So like this one they actually planned forward, going forward with it and completed it. Oh, I'm stepping in water. Yeah, it's becoming very cavern-like now. That big patch of concrete. Okay, I think I know half of my problem, and that was my light. I had to change the light. So it's kind of weak, but you can see more now. Look what I mean by the cave. Like that end over there was all brick. Look, we're getting smaller over there too. And this is like the original part. This is like 1850's. Like this is so sick. Yeah, you can definitely see better with this light on now. Look, it looks like a freaking cavern. It really does. It looks like a daggone cavern. Oh, it's so awesome. How you guys doing? And of course I'm wearing a mask, I'm sorry. And look at this part. This part just spaces out. Wonder why that is. Maybe because of rock slides or something? I would have no way of knowing. Okay, so it's not so wet anymore. So that must have been like the midpoint of the tunnel. And look, we're getting closer to that dot. It's getting even bigger, which is the east side of this trail. So what they did back in 2000, they restored it. They restored this. It took them a few years to do it because all the, green tape and everything they got to go through, all the red tape. I'm sorry, but they've actually cleaned it all up because before it was all flooded, it's forgotten. In its abandoned state for decades. And we cleaned it all out. So they actually opened it up to public for a trail system back in 2020. Or near 2020, 2019, 2020, whichever one. Sue me. This is amazing. So we're getting down towards the end of this. And of course, the tunnel seemed to actually open up more on the top. And what I'm gonna do is I wanna go back through. Of course I got to, because that's the way I came. Although that marks something, but look at that huge mark. That's the biggest and widest one yet I've seen. Now it's getting crazy in here. Well, that's pretty cool. So that has to do with some kind of moisture with all that silver stuff. I've never seen that before in a day of my life. I don't know if that's got any significance or not. Look at all these drill marks, like two there, two there, two there, two there. Dude, this is so crazy. I'm seeing these marks everywhere. The drill marks. That size, oh, look at that. That's really deep. Those are really deep ones. Look at all those marks all the way up there. It looks like ancient cultures, doesn't it? Kind of is in a way. It's like American culture. Even up there on the top, they were blasting away on the top. That's crazy to think about. Look at that one, right there. This is like a mile-long tunnel, and I'm not even, well, I'm quarter of the way to the end. And it looks like, as I progress in the tunnel, it looks like the tunnel goes up a little bit more, a little more narrow. And it looks like it's coming to the end of its silvery state, back into its rock-like state of like the red rock. I mean, it looks like red rock to me, I just don't know for sure. This is a place that you're gonna get. Oh my God, look at all those marks. Everywhere, dude. They look like straight lines. There's a lot of water. Like a waterfall, you hear that? We're getting to it. Can't see it just yet. And there it is. Look at that glacier. That's just coming right out from the mountain. Apparently that's really good drinking water. That's like, you can actually drink that straight out of the rock. That's as much as you get. And we are approaching the end of the tunnel. On this end. That's the man himself right there, Claudis Crozet. Claudis Crozet. That's the engineer that built this tunnel. But in 1944, they closed this tunnel down because it was too small for modern trains. So therefore, I mean, I feel the heat now. In there is 50 degrees. But there's another train track, an active one down here, that goes into another, and you can't see it because of all the brush. If it was like a fall day, you would be able to see the other tunnel, but it's right directly across from this one. Thank God I don't have to walk on active tracks today. That was a mess. To be on an active train track. Now, if you guys want to, you can pause from this one and read that. But it's things I'm already telling you anyways. But if you want to pause, feel free. So the other side doesn't have the facade that the west end did. For some reason, they only concentrated on that end, which is very beautiful. We'll look at it again once we head back out. But now, let's go back into the belly of the beast. They still had these marks that they would pull all the way down here too. It's crazy, the sun's shining. Sometimes this thing just comes down in water. Let's walk back in. The sunlight should actually be fading here in a minute. It's nice and cool too. You can look from behind me. Isn't that cool? This in itself is really cool. So you got all this rock, and then you got this brick. And the brick is the arch. It comes out of the rock itself. I think it's because it needs to be sturdy. I could be wrong. That's awesome. It's like stepping through a cathedral. By the tunnel. And it's shaping and carving its way out of the stone, out of the rock. The erosion. Over here, not so much. It's just pouring out of the, just pouring directly out of the tunnel. Let me give you guys another fun fact about this tunnel. After I get myself a level ground here, but Stonewall Jackson and his men actually got themselves on the train through this tunnel to go to their next campaign. Isn't that kind of cool? What, in 1862, I think it was? I think that's a fun fact. I'll tell you another fun fact. This is like stucco. It might be. Looks like there's some patching to do. But look, another mark. I keep showing you these marks. I can't get over this. It's weird. Walking away from that end, and then walking towards this end, it looks so far away, but yet it's really not. It's faster going back than what it was to begin with, moving forward. We seem to be hitting up the middle of the tunnel now, because that light, where we originally came in from, is getting larger, and that light that we just came in from is getting smaller. You may be saying to yourself right now, it's dull up here. Look. Who's driving? I love y'all. All right, so we're going, oh, what is this slab? Slab of concrete. Now that wasn't there when this thing was built. Actually, it's not even concrete on this side, it's like stucco. And it's concrete right here. That could be where the barrier was for the propane. The middle of this tunnel used to be like this 12-foot long bulkhead, and they would store propane in here in the 1950s. So when they restored this, as of a few years ago, we had to take that bulkhead out. That was for the storage. And I think that was probably part of the evidence of that. I'm so blinded by the light because it's so dark in here that I cannot see the front of my camera. Like, I feel like it's still all dark, but then again, my eyes are not adjusting well. I feel like a bat, you know? I don't have good eyesight right now. I wonder what those are for. I keep seeing them. So this is all evidence right here that parts of the rock would actually slide off or break off. Maybe from dynamite or maybe from just over time. Vibrations, everything, you know how rock works. That's a clean cut, look at that. That is clean. You know what's so eerie? I now have this place all to myself. Only the wind, and only the droppings of water. This is so crazy! Look at that, look at that, look at that, dude. That's awesome. I just love these opportunities where I get something alone. This is insane, guys. I'm in an 1850's tunnel. Doesn't get any better than that. The history, those who stood right here at one point in time, those Irish immigrants, were standing right where I was, pickaxing rocks, blasting with black powder, back hard labor. And the people that died in here, there's like 15, I think up to 15 immigrants had died in these tunnels. And then there was like 3 that died from a freak accident when this was open as a tunnel. The first train to come through here though was 1858. I don't know if Claudius himself, I don't know if Mr. Crozet, I don't know if Claudius himself actually was here for the open ceremony if he even had one. I didn't read anything about that. I think I might have read something about, he did resign though. He was disgusted about how people were treating him, thinking that he didn't know what he was doing, but he certainly did know what he was doing. But after he was finished with his job, after he was done with this tunnel, he resigned, found other work somewhere else, where he could be appreciated. That's sad. Walking right by it, and this is where the brick starts. Now notice in my voice, it's quiet over here where the brick is, but it echoes right here where the concrete and the rock is. It's even louder down there because it's more rock. But over here, the brick actually muffles your sound, doesn't bounce off as well. If you're actually hearing that now, that's my voice coming back to me faster than what it was originally down in that tunnel. Look at that light. It's gotten smaller. And this one's getting bigger. It looks pretty minute, but it's getting bigger. And you can tell the old original brick from the newer bricks. Sorry, doggy. It's okay. Okay, I think I found the example of original brick to newer brick, which is that. It's a patch of what looks like newer, and this is all over. That's not a turd, by the way. That's actually it's a piece of wood. Not a turd. See? Not a turd. Repeat after me, not a turd. What is this? Weird. That light is getting a lot bigger. Given the optical illusion, when I'm looking at this, like from my end, like in person, it looks like the tunnel's doing this number, like getting longer. It's like getting bigger, but it's getting longer. It's weird. It is hot in here. It could be 50 degrees in here. That's what they say all year round. It is not. It's actually feeling like 60 to 70 degrees in here. It does. So prepare for coldness if you ever hear it. But prepare for heat as well. Here is the metaphorical saying that the light at the end of the tunnel. Just look at that masterpiece. And that facade right there, that was, I don't know what it was, like some kind of French facade or something. It would make sense it was French because Claudius was French. I mean, it only makes a little sense. If you know what I mean, Baron? You know what I mean? But this is insane. I walked about 2 miles in and out of that tunnel. I gotta walk 2 miles back. I'm like 2 hours back. Might as well walk 2 hours back. Why do I do this? Certainly not for you. Kidding me? No. Nah, I'm joking. You know me. Joking. I love you all. I do this because I want to share my experiences with you guys. Which this concludes this video, guys. Thank you for being with me here in this explorer of the the Claudis Crozet, hope I said that right, Blue Ridge Tunnel, Mountain Tunnel. But definitely, guys, this has been one enjoyable explorer. Glad I can share this with you guys. I'm glad you guys can come along with me and see this through my eyes. And look, guys, I gotta do it for the last time, just for laughs. Look at the marks. Sorry, I had to. I'm done. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart with everything I do. You guys give me the feedback that I need and love so I can give back to you. And it's like a give and take situation here. We got that kind of relationship going on between you and I, guys. So until again, this is the 1850's tunnel, and I explored it. And let's off to the next. And I will catch you all on the flip.